Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, where I explore the fascinating and sometimes frightening aspects of human psychology. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that has been gaining a lot of attention lately: dark psychology. What is dark psychology, you may ask? Well, it's not a branch of psychology that studies vampires, werewolves, or zombies. Although, that would be pretty cool too. No, dark psychology is the study of the darker side of human behavior, such as manipulation, deception, and self-destruction. It's the art of using psychological principles to harm others for one's own benefit. Sounds scary, right? Well, it is. But it's also very important to understand because we encounter dark psychology every day, whether we realize it or not. We may encounter people who use dark psychology to influence us, persuade us, or control us. Or we may even use dark psychology ourselves, consciously or unconsciously, to get what we want from others. So, how can we recognize and protect ourselves from dark psychology? And how can we use it for good instead of evil? That's what I'm going to explore in this video. But before I do that, I need to introduce you to the three main personality traits that are often associated with dark psychology. These are known as the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Narcissism is a personality disorder characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance and a preoccupation with oneself. Narcissists tend to view others as extensions of themselves, and they may be overly focused on their achievements or appearance. They also have unrealistic expectations of others, demanding that everyone devote their attention to them and recognize their worth at all times. Narcissists are often charming, charismatic, and confident, but they can also be arrogant, manipulative, and exploitative. They have little empathy or remorse for others, and they may use various tactics to boost their ego, such as lying, cheating, or stealing. Machiavellianism is a personality trait that describes a person who is cunning, deceitful, and ruthless. Machiavellians are skilled at manipulating others to achieve their goals, regardless of the consequences. They have a pragmatic and cynical view of human nature, and they believe that the ends justify the means. Machiavellians are often ambitious, intelligent, and persuasive, but they can also be cold, calculating, and unscrupulous. They have no moral qualms about using others as pawns, and they may use various strategies to gain power, such as flattery, bribery, or blackmail. Psychopathy is a personality disorder that involves a lack of empathy, conscience, and emotion. Psychopaths are indifferent to the feelings and rights of others, and they may exhibit antisocial and impulsive behavior. Psychopaths are often fearless, thrill-seeking, and charming, but they can also be violent, aggressive, and remorseless. They have no regard for the law or social norms, and they may use various methods to harm others, such as violence, intimidation, or torture. As you can see, these three traits are not very pleasant, and they can cause a lot of damage to individuals and society. However, not everyone who has these traits is a criminal or a monster. In fact, some people may have mild or moderate levels of these traits, and they may use them for positive or neutral purposes. For example, some narcissists may be successful leaders, artists, or entertainers who use their charisma and confidence to inspire others. Some Machiavellians may be effective politicians, businessmen, or diplomats who use their cunning and persuasion to achieve their goals. And some psychopaths may be heroic soldiers, surgeons, or firefighters who use their fearlessness and thrill seeking to save lives. So, how can we tell the difference between the good and the bad? How can we know if someone is using dark psychology for evil or for good? Well, there is no easy answer to that question, but there are some clues that we can look for. One clue is the motive behind the behavior. Is the person using dark psychology to help themselves or to help others? Is the person using dark psychology to harm others or to prevent harm? Is the person using dark psychology to achieve a noble or a selfish goal? Another clue is the impact of the behavior. Does the person's behavior cause more harm or more good? Does the person's behavior violate the rights or dignity of others? Does the person's behavior create more conflict or more harmony? Of course, these clues are not always clear or reliable, and sometimes we may be deceived or confused by the person's behavior. That's why we need to be careful and vigilant when we encounter dark psychology, and we need to use our own judgment and critical thinking to evaluate the situation. We also need to be aware of our own vulnerabilities and biases, and we need to avoid falling prey to the tricks and traps of dark psychology. So, what are some of the tricks and traps of dark psychology? Well, there are many, but I'm going to share with you some of the most common and effective ones. These are the techniques that dark psychologists use to manipulate, influence, or control others. They are guilt trip. This is when the person makes you feel guilty or ashamed for not doing what they want. They may use emotional blackmail, such as threats, accusations, or sob stories to make you feel bad or sorry for them. They may also use moral pressure, such as appeals to your values, beliefs, or obligations to make you feel obligated or responsible for them. For example, a guilt tripper may say something like, "How can you do this to me after all I've done for you?" Or, "If you really loved me, you would do this for me." Or, "You're such a selfish and ungrateful person. You don't care about anyone but yourself." Social scalper. This is when the person uses social proof, such as popularity, authority, or consensus, to make you do what they want. They may use the bandwagon effect, such as showing you how many people are doing or agreeing with something, to make you feel left out or pressured to join. They may also use the halo effect, such as showing you how someone you admire or respect is doing or endorsing something, to make you feel influenced or persuaded to follow. For example, a social scalper may say something like, "Everyone is doing it. You don't want to be the odd one out, do you?" Or "This is what your favorite celebrity is using. You want to be like them, don't you?" Chameleon. This is when the person changes their appearance, behavior, or personality to match yours or to suit the situation. They may use mirroring, such as copying your body language, tone of voice, or expressions to make you feel comfortable or connected with them. They may also use flattery, such as complimenting you on your looks, skills, or achievements to make you feel good or special about yourself. For example, a chameleon may say something like, "Wow, you're so smart and talented. I wish I could be like you." Or, "You have such a great sense of humor. You always make me laugh." Or, "You have such a beautiful smile. You brighten up my day." These are just some of the techniques that dark psychologists use, but there are many more, such as gaslighting, bait and switch, false dilemma, and so on. The point is, these techniques are very powerful and persuasive, and they can make us do things that we may not normally do or that we may regret later. That's why we need to be aware of them, and we need to resist them. So, how can we resist dark psychology? How can we protect ourselves from being manipulated, influenced, or controlled by others? Well, there are some strategies that we can use, such as trust your gut. This is when you listen to your intuition, your inner voice, or your feelings, and you act accordingly. Sometimes your gut may tell you that something is wrong, that something is off, or that something is too good to be true. When that happens, you need to pay attention and you need to question the situation. Don't ignore your gut because it may save you from a lot of trouble. Seek the truth. This is when you seek facts, evidence, or logic, and you use them to verify or challenge the information that you receive. Sometimes you may encounter lies, exaggerations, or distortions that are meant to deceive or mislead you. When that happens, you need to do your research and you need to find the truth. Don't believe everything you hear because it may not be true. Set boundaries. This is when you set limits, rules, or standards, and you stick to them. Sometimes you may face demands, requests, or expectations that are unreasonable or unfair. When that happens, you need to say no, and you need to stand your ground. Don't let others cross your boundaries because they may take advantage of you. These are some of the strategies that we can use, But there are others, such as asking questions, seeking feedback, or getting support. The point is, these strategies are very helpful and effective, and they can help us avoid or overcome dark psychology. So, to summarize, dark psychology is the study of the darker side of human behavior, such as manipulation, deception, and self-destruction. It involves the triad of narcissism,